The Sega Saturn is a treasure trove of well-known, high-profile titles, and is a system whose complex architecture sometimes left its best qualities shrouded in mystery. But, amidst the fog of the 32-bit console wars, a few titles shone with an undeniable brilliance by perfecting one singular vision. In 1996, Sega's Team Andromeda didn't just create a sequel to Panzer Dragoon, they crafted a breathtaking and melancholy flight of fancy. This was Panzer Dragoon Zwei, a rail shooter that transcended its genre to become one of the most cohesive and unforgettable experiences of the 32-bit era, a symphony of creativity and design, where every element, from the art to the music to the gameplay, harmonized into something extraordinary and, quite honestly, magical. Now stick with me, because the real secret to this game's genius lies in a few key leaps forward. In this deep dive, we'll explore how Team Andromeda transformed the solid foundation of the original game into a legendary sequel. We'll break down the revolutionary gameplay mechanics, like your evolving dragon and the insanely powerful berserk attack. We'll journey through the game's hauntingly beautiful levels and epic boss fights, from the desert chase in Episode 2 to the final confrontation with the Guardian Dragon. We'll also uncover the poignant story of Lundi and his dragon Lagi, and analyze the technical genius behind the scenes that made Zwei a stunning showcase for the Sega Saturn's untapped power. Stick with me all the way to the end, since this is the definitive retrospective on a timeless classic. To appreciate Zwei, one must first step out of the long shadow cast by its legendary predecessor. The original Panzer Dragoon was a stunning proof of concept and a landmark title that announced the Saturn's capability with its vast, desolate landscapes and epic scale. But it was also a game with some rough edges, challenging to a fault, with a dragon that felt somewhat stiff and unresponsive. Zwei was the refinement, a rare moment when potential crystallized into something legendary. The team took the foundation and asked a critical question. What if the dragon wasn't just a vehicle, but an extension of the player? This led to a revolutionary change, a dragon that evolved. Its form shifted and grew throughout the game, becoming faster, more agile, and unlocking new abilities. This wasn't just a visual upgrade, it was a narrative and mechanical core that made you feel a tangible bond with the creature, a partnership that became emotionally powerful as the game progressed. And that emotional bond is going to be the key to understanding the entire game. But to get there, we first need to understand the story that frames it all. And before we dive further into the game's story and world, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate your support, since it's the only way YouTube will highlight my videos. That bond between you and your dragon is the very heart of the experience. This evolution from it just being sort of a vehicle to a true, organic partner is beautifully framed by the game's narrative. The story of Zwei is a poignant prequel to the original game, set against a war between the Empire and the nation of Mechania over the ruins of an ancient age. You play as Jean-Jacques Lundi, a young man from a small village. The village tradition dictates that mutant pack animals called kulias, born with bioluminescence, are killed as bad omens. Lundi defines this by sheltering an abnormal kulia born with a glowing green throat and wings, and names him Lagi. The bond between boy and beast is the heart of the story. When Lagi is fully grown, their peaceful life is shattered as an automated ancient age airship, the colossal Shellkoof, annihilates Lundi's village. In a moment of instinct, Lagi defends them by firing lasers from his mouth, the signature attack of the legendary dragons. This event sets Lundi and Lagi on their epic pursuit of the Shellkoof, a journey that will see them cross paths with Imperial forces, Mechanian soldiers, and the terrifying monster guardians of the ancient ship. This personal quest for vengeance and survival plays out across a canvas of stunning desolation. The world of Panzer Dragoon Zwei is a character in itself. This is not just a generic fantasy landscape. It's a dying, post-apocalyptic Earth, a world where ancient biomechanical monsters roam deserts and ruins of a long-lost civilization. The art direction, led by the visionary designs of Jean Giraud, masterfully elevates the atmosphere even with the Saturn's somewhat limited technology. Its dual graphics processors were pushed to render sweeping vistas, canyons of fossilized creatures, sun-dabbled forests, and storm-racked aerial fortresses. The color palette is muted but still expressive, all earthly tones and deep blues, making the vibrant energy of your lasers and enemies' attacks pop with a dramatic intensity. Every frame feels like a moving painting, a bleak yet beautiful world that you're desperately trying to save from a terrifying organic plague. Now, with that incredible world established, let me show you how to actually navigate it. To survive this dangerous world, you needed tools that matched its scale, which leads us directly to the game's revolutionary mechanics. At its heart, Zwei is a rail shooter, but to label it as only that is missing the point. It's an aerial ballet of death. The core controls and gameplay mechanics were refined to near perfection. The 360-degree targeting returned, but with a new fluidity. The lock-on laser now required you to maintain your sight on the target, adding a layer of tension and skill. But the true game changer was the berserk attack, and I want to show you exactly why this one feature changes everything. By carefully avoiding damage and taking down enemies efficiently, you fed the meter that, when full, allowed you to unleash a screen-clearing super attack, unique to your dragon's current state and evolution. This system rewarded aggression and precision over passive survival. It encouraged players to not just endure the oncoming hordes, but to dominate them, to dance through bullet patterns with grace and power. This elevated the gameplay from a simple test of reflexes to a strategic, almost rhythmic performance. If the visuals define the world of Panzer Dragoon Zwei, then the soundscape gives it a pulse. Composer Yayoi Wachi created a score that sounds less like typical video game tunes and is more of a full-blown cinematic symphony. The music is just huge and epic, like this game, blending rich orchestral sounds with tribal drums and ethereal choirs. These tracks aren't just background noise, they're integral to your experience, rising and falling with the action, amplifying the sense of scale and that feeling of a fleeting hope. The sound design is meticulous, from the distinct hum of your laser charging to the cries of the monsters you face. Making full use of the Saturn's powerful sound hardware, it was an auditory tour de force that fully immersed the player in this unique fantasy. And creating that level of total immersion, it turns out, requires pushing the Saturn's hardware in ways no one else could. This level of audio-visual immersion required a deep understanding of the hardware, and this is where Team Andromeda truly separated themselves from the pack, and in my mind, Panzer Dragoon Zwei stands as a definitive technical showcase for the Sega Saturn. While some other third-party developers struggled with the console's dual SH2 processors, Team Andromeda mastered them. The game is renowned for its smooth, fluid frame rate. They maximized the use of its robust sprite scaling effects, creating a sense of speed and scale that few other titles on the platform could match. The use of full motion video for cinematic sequences was seamlessly integrated, and the texture work, while simple by today's standards, was artistically chosen to create a cohesive and stunning visual style. Zwei didn't fight the Saturn's architecture, it embraced it, proving what the machine was truly capable of in the right hands. Team Andromeda's mastery of the Saturn's hardware was a quantum leap from their work on the original. They were now intimately familiar with the dual SH2 processors. This allowed them to achieve a famously smooth frame rate, critical improvement for a fast-paced shooter. One of their most clever technical feats was handling the transition from ground to air. So the team used clever camera transitions to mask this shift, creating a seamless sense of ascent and descent. And the water effects in episode 4 was a particular showcase. Using a combination of parallax scrolling and layered sprites, they created a realistic, undulating water surface that would have been difficult to achieve on the PlayStation. The team also implemented an ingenious behind-the-scenes system called ADAC, which is short for Automatic Difficulty Enemy Control, which subtly adjusts enemy spawn rates and attack patterns based on the player's performance, making the game more accessible without compromising its challenge for skilled players. Team Andromeda even created their own development tools to squeeze every ounce of power from the Saturn, proving its potential when placed in dedicated, creative hands. Real quick, if you're enjoying this flight through gaming history, then please do this channel a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to see more deep dives into the classics. Now, with all the technical magic as our foundation, let's see how it all comes together. All of that technical prowess provided the foundation for the game's most memorable moments, its epic levels and terrifying bosses. The game's 7 episodes are a tour through the Dying World, each with its own distinct challenges and breathtaking set pieces. The journey starts with Destiny Begins, a tutorial level that introduces the mechanics without penalizing the player's shootdown ratio. From there, the adventure truly kicks off. In Episode 2, you chase the Shellcoop through a vast desert, battling sand-burrowing Goliaths and Mechania gliders. This level introduces the revolutionary branching path system. By moving to the left at a specific point, you take Route 2, committing to an intense series of air battles against waves of gliders and warships, culminating in a boss fight against a massive transport ship. But that's just the warm-up. The real test of skill comes in the next level. Episode 3 takes you into a dense, sun-dappled forest. Here, the challenge shifts to agile Mechania speeder bikes and heavily armored cannon barges. Successfully navigating the branch to Route 2 here requires swift eliminations, leading to confrontations with Flying Gim, the formidable assault battleship, before facing the agile and deadly boss, the Golia Tracker. Now the pace changes in Episode 4, a high-speed, claustrophobic flight through a flooded ruin. This is one of the most technically demanding levels, requiring lightning-fast reflexes to shoot down waves of sweepers and bee-fly in narrow gate-filled tunnels. The branching path, Route 3, is the most challenging, testing your mastery of the 360-degree targeting system. The level culminates in a boss fight against the Guardian, a serpentine behemoth that attacks from both water and the air, destroying the very bridge you fly over. The penultimate levels see the confrontation with the Shellcoop itself. Episode 5 is a chaotic battle against the giant creature Nuth and its swarms of smaller minions, the Tarans, in a frozen sea. This leads directly into a boss fight against the Nuth, whose shield makes it immune to lock-on lasers, forcing a shift in your strategy. And then, it's time for the final assault on the airship itself. Episode 6 is the assault on the Shellcoop's interior, a frantic run through its mechanical innards, destroying laser towers, tanks, and flying sea lances before crippling the ship's massive engine rudders from the outside. And the finale is a 2-stage boss fight of epic proportions. First, you battle the Guardian Dragon Cocoon as it unleashes a hail of projectiles and deadly laser patterns. Upon its destruction, you face the fully formed Guardian Dragon in the last episode. This climactic battle, for which your dragon evolves into its ultimate soloing form, is a complex dance of dodging acid streams, tail swipes, and intricate laser attacks, a true test of everything the player has learned. And let me tell you, overcoming that final challenge cemented Zwei's place not just as a great game, but as a foundational piece of the Saturn's identity. Panzer Dragoon Zwei's legacy is one of profound influence that has earned it a well-deserved and enduring reverence. While it never achieved blockbuster sales in the West, it became the crown jewel of the Saturn library for collectors and enthusiasts. It set a new bar for artistic cohesion in video games, demonstrating how music, art, and gameplay could merge into a singular, unforgettable experience. Its direct sequel, Panzer Dragoon Saga, would take the narrative and world-building to even further into a full-fledged RPG format. But it was in Zwei that perfected the shooter's core gameplay loop, and today, it's remembered as the standard-bearer for the genre. In a modern gaming landscape often dominated by open worlds, returning to the curated, intensely focused experience of Zwei feels kind of refreshing. It's a reminder of the power of a perfectly paced and beautifully crafted linear adventure. If you're enjoying this content, I've put a link into the description below of a playlist of all of my other videos that you might enjoy, including a bunch of other great games on the Sega Saturn, so go check it out, stick around for a while. So, why does Panzer Dragoon Zwei continue to captivate us nearly 3 decades later? It's not merely nostalgia for a bygone console, it's the enduring power of a team operating at the peak of its creative powers. It's the feeling of soaring on the back of a mythical creature through a world both beautiful and tragic. It's the adrenaline of a perfectly executed berserk attack amidst a storm of enemy fire. It's the haunting melody that lingers after the console is turned off. It's the story of you and your dragon, a bond forged in fire and strengthened by loss. Panzer Dragoon Zwei is more than a game. It's a piece of interactive art. It's a flawless execution of a bold vision and a timeless testament of what the Sega Saturn was always meant to be. But that's just what I think. What's your take on the Panzer Dragoon series? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your views. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'd like to invite you to subscribe for more feel-good retro gaming content. Alright my friends, this is the Retro Gaming Boss signing out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.